Hi, I'm Dallas here at Merricks General Wine Store. Welcome to Regional Victoria Masterclass series at Fed Square. Today we'll be going through a lemon and lemon thyme millefeuille. So the first and probably the most important step to a millefeuille is the pastry. So we're just going to run you through how to make a rough puff pastry. So we're going to start with just some plain flour. We've got 500 grams of plain flour. And we're just going to process it very lightly in our food processor. To the flour we add equal part of unsalted butter, so 500 grams of butter, and you need to ensure that it's cold. And also to this mix we have icing sugar, so 80 grams of icing sugar. And 8 grams of table salt. So we're just going to pulse this very lightly till we get the consistency of large breadcrumbs, because you want that butter. It's going to help give your pastry the puff. So when you finish, it should resemble large breadcrumbs still with chunks of butter in it. So don't be nervous that you've still got chunks of butter. You want that effect. So to this we've added 200 grams of ice cold water, and we're just going to bring it together, and then we'll bring it out onto the board to work it a little bit more. So you can see it's come together, and we've still got large chunks of butter in it, which is what you want, because you want to roll the butter out. It's going to trap the air in it. So on a lightly floured work surface, we'll just bring our pastry out and bring it together so we can start the first turn. And I know it looks like a crumbly mess, but this is the effect that you want. And just ever so gently, just bring it together. Right, so now we've brought it together, and you can see it's still got those large chunks of butter, which is what you want, as I talked about previously. So now we'll start the turning process. So you want to shape it into a rectangle and try and maintain that shape whilst you roll it out. And you need to roll the dough away from you. And then we're going to pick the dough up and rotate it 90 degrees to our right side. And then we're going to fold it into itself. It's what they call a book fold. So left side will go in first, and then the right side over the top. And we still maintain our rectangle. You might need to lightly flour the bench as you go. And now we need to rest the pastry in the fridge for at least an hour. And then once we've rested the pastry, we'll repeat the rolling and folding process again 2 more times. Now we've done our 3 turns on our puff pastry, so we've repeated the process 1 more time of rolling and folding, and rested again for an hour, and now we're ready to roll out our pastry to bake. As you can see, all the layers have formed in our pastry, which is what we want. We want that butter and the air to be trapped in there so it gets some rise and separates the layers. So we just want to roll this out so it's about 4 millimeters thick. So always try and keep your shape when you're rolling. You can just run your hand over the surface of the pastry. You can feel if it's uneven. You just want to roll it out to make sure it's nice and even and about 4 mil thick. And now ready to put on a tray. So we've just got some cast iron trays, a sheet of baking paper. We'll just pick our pastry up on the pin onto our lined baking tray. Put another layer of baking paper on top, and then we'll top it with another cast iron sheet tray. And what this does will help prevent it from rising too much when it bakes, and it'll help the layers separate as it cooks. So we're going to cook this in a preheated oven, 180 degrees, and it'll take approximately 25 to 30 minutes to bake. Okay guys, so now we need to make the creme patissiere, which is a custard. So we start the process the day before, and we need to make a milk infusion. So we've got some beautiful lemon thyme that we grow on the property, and we just need 125 grams of lemon thyme leaves and a litre of milk. And we just blend that up and we let that sit overnight to infuse. And then on the day you make your custard, we strain it off and we're left with this beautiful lemon thyme infused milk. So we'll just add that to our pot. So we've just got that in our pot. We're just going to put that on to scald, so which means we'll bring it to about 90 degrees. And whilst that's heating up, we'll get the ingredients ready for the custard. So we've got 6 egg yolks and 2 whole eggs, and to that we'll add 250 grams of caster sugar. Now what you want to do, you just want to lightly cream the eggs and sugar together, just until they begin to turn pale. Alright, now they're a nice pale colour. We'll add our flours. So we've got 100 grams of plain flour and 25 grams of corn flour. We'll just add that and mix it together. You want to ensure you beat out any lumps. Alright, you can see the steam starting to rise off our milk, which means it's almost at boiling point. Alright, so you can see it's quite warm. We just want to slowly add that into our egg mix. We do this by adding a third at a time and then whisking to combine. So we've got that all added in now and combined. We want to go into a clean pot so we can cook our custard. Scrape our creme patissiere mix into a clean pot. We'll scrape it all out. Now we want to return this to a medium heat, and we want to cook the custard out until it's thick. So it'll take about 10 odd minutes to do so. So we need to continuously whisk our mix as it cooks out, and you'll be able to feel the custard thicken up as it comes up to temperature. So you can see our custard starting to come together and it's thickening up. So which means the protein in the egg yolk starting to set and our flour's cooking out. And at this point we just want to remove it from the heat. So we just want to scrape our custard out of the pot into a shallow tray to cool. So we want to put a piece of cling film or baking paper on top of the custard to prevent a skin forming. And we're just going to put that in the fridge to cool, and once it's cool we'll put it into piping bags ready for use. Our next step is to make our Meyer lemon curd. So on our farm in Merricks, Algae Park, we grow some beautiful Meyer lemons. So to utilise them, we're going to make a beautiful lemon curd. So to start the process, we have 500 ml of Meyer lemon juice and the zest of 2 Meyer lemons. We have the vanilla pod that's been opened up and we've scraped the seeds out of it. So the seeds of 1 pod. We have 425 grams of unsalted butter, and we have 600 grams of caster sugar. So we combine all this together and we're just going to bring it up to heat. And while we wait for that, we're just going to whisk our eggs together. So we have 9 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. And we're just going to whisk these together. So you just want to stir your ingredients to make sure they combine as they come up to heat. So curd's a very similar process to making a custard. So I'm just going to bring this up to heat and we'll pour it over our eggs and we'll put it back into the pot to cook out. All our ingredients have incorporated, our butter's melted, our sugar's dissolved. I'm just going to pour that over our eggs. while we whisk continuously and just gradually add it. Now we want to add our curd mix back into our pot, and we're going to cook the mix out. Let's put that back on medium heat, whisking continuously so our eggs don't curdle or scramble. And very similar to the Creme Patissiere, you'll be able to feel it and see it thicken. So this process will take about 10 minutes again. So at this point we've cooked out our egg. So now we need to remove our curd, pour it into our tray, and we need to chill it so it sets. And again, we'll put some baking paper or cling film onto the surface to stop a skin from forming. So now our pastry is ready to remove from the oven. So it's been in the 180 degree oven for half an hour. So we've checked the pastry at the 25-minute point, and it wasn't quite ready, so we gave it another 5 minutes. So what we're looking for is a nice golden colour, and you can feel it. It feels nice and firm, which means it's cooked. So we're just going to remove that onto our cake rack to rest and cool. So now we're going to assemble our dessert. So traditionally a mille-feuille is a layered dessert, layered with 2 to 3 layers of pastry and custard. Here at the store, we'd like to cut it into a circle and build on top of it to showcase what grows in our garden. So by using a pastry cutter, and you just heat up the base, you can cut a nice circle of pastry. We just want to put a little bit of the custard on the base just to stop it moving around. We'll add our pastry, and then we'll begin garnishing it. So we're just going to dot our Creme Patissiere and lemon curd around our pastry. Now we'll do the same with the lemon curd. And now we're going to garnish with some beautiful flowers and herbs that we grow on the property. So we have dill, rocket, coriander, calendula, forget-me-not flowers, borage, and of course we want to have a bit of lemon thyme as well. Just randomly place our flowers and herbs on top, just so it resembles what we grow. And that completes our My Lemon and Lemon Thyme mille-feuille. Thanks for joining us at Regional Victoria Masterclass Series at Fed Square here at Merricks General Wine Store. I hope you enjoyed making our lemon thyme and My Lemon mille-feuille. Don't forget to check out more fedsquare.com for more masterclasses. And now we'll go and enjoy this with a nice glass of Algae Park Cuvée Brut 2016.